Terry O'Neill, Councillor O'Neill, is going to lead us in the karakia. We're going to all stand.
Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia mā kina kina ki uta, kia mā tara tara ki tai. E hi aki ana te ata kurua, he tio, he huke, he hauhu, ti hei mauri ora.
Okay. Welcome to Pūroro Hātepe, the Regulatory Processes meeting. Do we have any apologies? No. I haven't heard from Mayor Foster, Deputy Mayor Free, you're here. Yeah, so we're good. We don't need to move a motion if there's no apologies there, so we just move on. He's not here. He's not on this committee. Are there any conflict of interest declarations? No. So we don't have to do that either, do we? That's good. But we do have to confirm the minutes from the 13th of April, and they've been circulated, so I'll just move that that they be taken as being read and confirmed as an accurate record of the meeting. Do I have a seconder? Thanks, Councillor O'Neill. If we could just vote accordingly. Thanks. We don't have any item. Oh, sorry, that's carried. Just took that for granted a little bit too quickly. We don't have any items that are not on the agenda, and I'd just like to welcome Jill Sanders, who's going to talk to us about 117 Seaton Heights Road. So welcome, Jill. And I think it's your first time to council.
I wouldn't know this would be so scary. Okay.
I said to you, Jill, we're okay. You just go for it.
Okay. Kia ora.
Do you want to come up to the table? Join us at the table.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Just touch it so the light.
All right.
Just press the little button on the mic so that Councillor Condi's online. So can you hear us, Councillor Condi? Thumbs up? Yep, we're good.
Okay. Kia ora, my name is Jill Sanders, and my partner Craig and I have lived at 123 Seaton Heights Road for almost 16 years. Our property is on the west boundary with 117 Seaton Heights Road. I have made a written submission in relation to the road stopping at 117 Seaton Heights Road, but I also wanted to make this oral submission just to reinforce a few points. But to give you a bit of background, no one has actually lived at 117 Seaton Heights Road since Mrs. Stevens passed away in 2019. The property transferred to her daughter, Karen Stevens, who now owns it via a trust. We believe disingenuous reasons have been given for the road stopping. The application refers to preserving the existing amenities and to provide additional garden, but this could also be achieved by an encroachment licence. Now, they have told us in the council that they're not going to sell the property. But if they get this additional bit of land, that gives them enough to actually build on the front. And if a second dwelling is built on the front, then it's going to impact upon our privacy and our sunlight. But most importantly, I want to bring to the council's attention that an illegal fence has been built on the area covered by the road stopping. And this documentation can be found in the council's property file. And I've just asked for distribution two things. One is the building consent and one is the building inspector's report. So the background to this is in that 2003, Mrs. Stevens' agent applied for a building consent for various extensions and improvements. The building plans showed a fence on road reserve. On 11th of February 2003, the council's resource management team advised that a fence could not be built on the road reserve without applying for a resource consent. So that is one of the documents that are provided to you, and I think I've highlighted in pink that particular point in the letter. Then on 28th of February 2003, the building inspector, Barry Harlan, also advised that the fence must not be built without resource consent. However, despite being told twice, Mrs. Stevens went ahead and built this fence without applying for a resource consent. This area of road reserve is now an enclosed private backyard for the exclusive use of 117 Session Heights Road and also encompasses their clothesline. I actually drew this to the attention of Mrs. Stevens in 2008. And Mr. Stapleton, her authorised agent at the time, who has also said he was operating as a barrister and he is now QC, said that all consents and licences were held. But I've later found out that is correct.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. There was no resource consent and no encroachment licence. An encroachment licence has now been obtained for the additional bit of land that extends beyond 2 metres of the road reserve.
Jill, we'll give you an extension.
Oh, no, I said that much. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. This is quite interesting. So we're prepared to give you some leeway.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
But the council has missed out on 19 years worth of revenue in relation to encroachment licence. And we've recently gone through this process ourselves, getting a resource consent, getting an encroachment licence. And it's a complex, challenging and expensive process. I actually think that the encroachment licence should be backdated. So if nothing is done about the fence built illegally on the road reserve and the failure to obtain a resource consent and the resulting breach of the Wellington Consolidated Bylaw 2008, the council may be setting a precedent that it does not follow its own bylaws and allows road reserve to be built on without the appropriate consent or any consequences for a deliberate breach. if the owners of 117 Session Heights Road, so Karen Stevens, she is the Insurance and Financial Services Ombudsman, and Michelle Williams, the other trustee, she's a partner in a law firm in Masterton.
Hey, Jill, if you want us to ask questions, if you might need to wrap this up pretty quickly.
Okay, I've
Yeah,
just-
thanks.
Last couple of sentences.
Yep.
And the authorised agent, Mr Stapleton, a Queen's counsellor, he is Mrs Stevens' husband. They're all lawyers and officers of the court. If they don't comply with the law, then who will? Everybody complies or nobody complies. My last paragraph. Wellington City Council's road stopping guide states that the council will consider if the sale of land will adversely affect other property owners in the area or the public as well as the developmental potential. We believe the proposed road stopping meets this criteria. We believe that our objections should be upheld and that the council should decline this road stopping application.
Councillors, thank you, Jill. Any questions?
Sorry, thank you for your submission. Can you just
Liz,
remind
Liz Kelly, sorry, I should introduce Liz.
Oh yeah, I can see
Name's
there,
there.
Liz Kelly.
Can you just remind me which one is your property?
So it's
123 Seaton Heights Road.
123.
Okay,
The
cool.
numbers are
Yep.
insequential, but it's actually
Yep. No,
right
that's
next
fine.
door.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Panner.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for your submission, and I appreciate you're probably not expert planners or.
No.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to get it straight. So you think the road stopping should be declined, which is one process, because you're concerned about the impact of another house on your property, which is obviously through the Resource Management Act. Just to make that absolutely clear, so I understand.
Well, that is one of the issues. The other issue is that it's proposed to sell off road, which is council land, while there are illegal structures on it,
Right. Okay.
which haven't been consented.
Okay. And I guess, sorry, and you haven't had any joy except when you raised this with the council over this issue. It's just sort of, this has come back now and you're engaged with the process, but you haven't, over the years since 2008, had any luck with this illegal
No,
structure.
it was brought up, but nothing's happened. We didn't pursue it at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We raised it with Mr Stapleton, who at the time was operating as a barrister for Mrs Stevens. But he was uncooperative and said that he knows about these things and he's very experienced and he's an expert in property, and Mrs Stevens had all the appropriate consents and licences.
Okay.
Okay.
And just the last question, just really quickly. So I guess I was just wondering about how much engagement you'd had with your neighbours, so that you haven't been able to come to a constructive solution.
Since our building application in 2008, he's blatantly refused to engage with us.
So what happened is that in order to get our resource consent, we needed comments from Mrs Stevens. So we sent the appropriate form, and she said that her son-in-law, Mr Stapleton, was going to act for her. I sent many emails and phoned him, and he refused to respond to me. And I actually got it home one day, and I think he was quite shocked. And he said that he was too busy. But that's in relation to another issue, but it just shows behaviour.
Deputy Mayor Free.
I note the report you've given us. Thank you for your submission. I note the report you've given us. It's noted that a fence is shown on the plans that would be on the legal road, but no other structures, just the fence.
There are other structures.
But you were saying there are other structures in the...
Retaining wall, yeah.
There's a retaining wall, and there's a car pad, and there's the driveway.
Okay.
So there's a number of structures.
And did you raise this with as an objection with the council prior to this application to actually purchase the road?
I did in 2008, or at least there was email exchange in 2008, but at the time the encroachment officer said that Mr. Stapleton was a lawyer, and did I want to go down that track?
Are there any other questions? No. Thank you very much. I think you've given us a pretty clear picture of the, yeah.
Great.
And
Thank you for
I
your
do
time.
have a written statement on behalf of Bex Gold to read out as well. So I'll do that now. So this is from Bex Gold, who lives at 117 Seaton Heights Road. She says, and she's acting on behalf of the trustees sorry, she's 1112. Yeah. She's a trustee of 1112, the neighbour. My apologies. We believe the application for road stopping is disingenuous, as preserving the existing amenities and to provide additional garden can be achieved by applying for an encroachment licence. We believe the trustees plan to sell the property as a development opportunity, which is why they applied for road stopping rather than an encroachment licence. The application must be completed with honest intent. And that was, again, Bex Gold from 112 Seaton Heights Road.
Yeah, initially Bex objected in relation.
Sorry, Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
So we now move on to general business, and we're going to ask Maria Taumā to talk to us on the proposed road closures. So, Maria, are you online?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, Maria.
So the two road closures I'm bringing to the meeting are Beers at the Basin, which is one that's been cancelled twice already this year, so it's reapplied for the same event, and the other one is Spring and Tower, which was also cancelled due to COVID last year.
Okay.
They're just changing their dates and trying to apply, and hopefully it'll go through this year.
I didn't quite hear that. Yeah, so thanks, Maria. Does anybody have any questions of Maria? No, we're all good. Thank you again, Maria.
You're welcome.
Really good reports, and I'm going to move the motion. Do I have a seconder? Pardon? Yeah, thanks, Deputy Mayor Free. Is there any debate? So we will go straight to the vote. And we're all unanimous with that. Thanks, Maria, again.
Thank you very much.
So we'll move on to the road stopping, but where we've had the feedback this morning. So Sarah Jane, would you like to have a...
Good morning. Is this on? So I think I'll start with introducing the paper. Obviously, you've heard from the objectors already. So the paper that you have received is just a report for noting on the background of the oral submissions for the proposed road stopping at 117 Seatoon Heights Road. The application was first made in 2020, and so these objectors have been around since about then when we made our first initial contact with them, and then have supplied also formal objections through the public notification process. Yeah.
Any questions? Oh, we'll go for Councillor O'Neill first. followed by Councillor Pennant and Deputy Mayor Free.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. Just a question about the recommendations in the report. So I understand this is noting, but 2A talks about declaring and agree to dispose of the land. I just wanted to clarify what we are voting to move through committee today.
There's no vote today, so
Yeah.
this is only to hear the objections. There will be a second report next month that asks for a decision
Yeah.
on these objections.
Okay, cool. Just clarifying because I see. Yeah, and the. Oh my goodness. All right. Never mind then. I've got another. I do have another partai later, but I will. Maybe being a bit.
Okay. Councillor Pennant.
It's fine. I just wanted to be absolutely clear on the process. So I'll ask my questions next month. Thank you.
Can I just say something regards the process? So, historically, we have always done the road stopping objection process this way, where we have oral submissions from objectors if they choose to make an oral submission in support of their written submission. And I don't think it's always been done in public participation and then have the report later on. It's quite an awkward step. It's and it's our process is a little bit out of step with other ones like reserve revocation, where you receive objections, you maybe get a submission from the public and a decision report's made at the same meeting. And I'm proposing that that's what we do in future, because I think it's useful where you've got, objections like this, where you've heard them whilst they're still fresh in your mind, and you're more able to ask questions and have them answered and consider that at the same meeting. So that's what I'm suggesting might be an improvement to the process.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Councillor Matthews and then... Sarah, sorry.
So it seems there are two things that they've raised, and they're a little bit separate. So one was that there's been already structures built in Road Reserve that have not been charged for appropriately, and therefore council is owed money. And the second one is that they actually object because they're scared of a house being built, and it's only. But I think we need to separate the two. I'm only interested in the first one at the moment. Is there any truth to the claim that there's been some money that should have been paid to council?
I think you raised a good point.
Yeah.
When was this first raised?
Yeah.
And it's been around. Yeah, exactly, but not with us. So we're dealing with the road stopping process,
Right.
and the requirement for that land for road purposes.
Yeah.
So we stick with that, and of course, the redevelopment can occur now anyway without the road stopping. But of course, the road stopping is going to increase that, but it's appropriately addressed under the district plan. There is an encroachment licence in place now, and that's dealt with by the encroachments team. So I'm assuming that the fence is compliant.
Well, it does seem to say that it might not have been, but that's hard to track down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you were saying is the encroachments matter in any charge that should have been. It's not our concern at the moment.
It's nothing to do with the road
This has got nothing to do with this, actually.
Well, it's good. It's good to
not really.
No.
I'm trying to answer it, but it's really difficult because we didn't receive that in 2008. We don't know what was said. We haven't seen any 2008 communication. We have tried our best to engage with the objectors to have a conversation, but that simply hasn't
So what
happened.
you're saying is that matter needs to be discounted by us at this point. It's not relevant to this decision.
And that's the point.
Councillor,
But we're not making it yet. I know
we're
that.
not making a decision at this
I know,
stage.
but that's the point, though. It would be useful, I think, because this happens every single time that we
But I
do
think
this.
if we could do this offline, I think that would be...
That'd be fantastic. Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Councillor Wolf, sorry, I just do want to be a bit pedantic about this. I just think I want officer advice on everything that's been said through the proper process, not just starting to get into it now.
Yeah.
I do think we just need to step back carefully.
And that's a fair comment. Councillor Matthews.
This is quite a general question about the objection being based on the fact that the reasons are not given, are not not genuine. I'm wondering, is that an obligation, or because I'm sure that people do road stopping and then change their plans, or so I just want to check if that's sort of a genuine, if that's a problem for us on the council side.
So on the application form for a road stopping, we do ask for the reason the applicant would like to stop the road, but obviously the whole road stopping process is 12 to 18 months. Things change, they can change their minds, but that reason that is given is provided to the neighbours when we send out our initial letters very early on in the process. And so I have also checked with these owners about their reasons, and they are the same as what they were when they made the application. They have no intention of building a second dwelling, but like Councillor Pennant brought up, it is done through a separate process. But yeah, and so Schedule 10 of the Local Government Act also does require a reason, and like I've said, that has been provided.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Liz Kelly.
Well, actually, Mr. Chair, my question has been answered, but if I could just make a quick comment. I tautoko what you've said, because the process is really messy, and even when I was reading the papers, it was really quite difficult to understand. So then you're telling us that we're not making a decision today. It's kind of, why are we even here then? It's just really messy. So I tautoko what you're saying, and if you can do something offline with the process, that would be really useful.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to, I'll move the paper if I have a seconder. Thanks, Councillor Matthews. And is there any debate? Oh, okay. Councillor O'Neill just got beat you there.
Just to note that today, and yes, thank you for the clarification earlier, that this will be a matter that we consider at the next available Regulatory Processes Committee meeting, and today we are not delving into the details. I just wanted to note that, given a few of the questions and also my own confusion earlier. Thanks.
Okay, so there's no further debate. I'd just like to thank the oral submitters for coming in, and also officers for being free and frank in answering our questions and straightening us out on the process as well. So that we're appreciative of that. So if there's no further debate, we'll just put this to the vote. And that was carried unanimously. So we just have the action tracking and just the action tracking forward program. If I could, we'll do these together. Siobhan, you're up.
I get to say something.
You've got a minute to be out.
We're going to take a minute. We'll take these as read, but noting that on the forward program, I think we need to add the decision for the road stopping to the next meeting. The 18th of May.
Thank you. And so I will put these to the vote. Well, no, I moved them, sorry. Have we got questions? Any questions? No. Yeah, just about. Just about. Yeah, so I've moved, and if I could have a seconder. Yeah, Councillor O'Neill. And no, I gather that. Oh, yeah, okay. Liz. Yeah, and if we could just vote accordingly. Thank you, Siobhan. And with that, I'd just like to thank you all for coming in, and that was a unanimous vote. And if we could conclude the meeting with the karakia. Una here. Una here.
Ki te uru tupa nui. Kia wātea, mama, te nākau, te tena, te wairua. E te ara takatū. Koe rā e rongo. Whakaria a kikirunga. Kia wātea, ai rā, ko wātea.